And get started. It's 5:30. We want to be respectful of your time. And so I wanted to introduce myself. My name is Irene Ortega, and I am the Burton School District Communication and Community Engagement Officer. And tonight with us, we have Dr. Alex Tejan, who is going to go over our ARIES and Seesaw and Clever for our K-6 parents. Also, we have our social worker, Ayani, who will be joining us, and she will be going over some coping strategies, helping, giving you some ideas about creating routines, and helping you with some ideas to help you get through this difficult time of virtual learning and give you some great tips. We also have some of our psychologists on the line with us, and so they'll be jumping in and answering some questions, or maybe giving you some tips on maybe some questions you may have regarding virtual learning. We will have times for question and answers towards the end. And I also wanted to let you know that we do have another parent workshop this Thursday, which is our Learning Continuity Plan workshop. And we'd love for you to join us, and we'll be sharing how we're using our funds to support students and our staff and our families. And so we just wanted to share that with you. And so I hope you enjoyed tonight. We have a poll right before the questions and answers. If you have any questions, we have panelists who will be answering questions on the back end. So feel free to type in a question if you have a question, and we'd be happy to help. And I would like to introduce Dr. Alex Tejan, who is our Director of Technology, and he also oversees the Burton Online School. And so I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to him.
Thank you very much. Thank you all for being here. I really appreciate it. I'm going to start with just a couple of things you should know about if you don't already. And then we're going to do a dive into getting you set up on Canvas if you've got a student in 4th through 6th grades, so that you can monitor progress, monitor their work. So with that said, that's my outline for the next 15 minutes or 12 minutes. I'd like to start with our app. This is the Burton School District app. It's available in both the iOS store and the Android store. It looks very similar. I'm using the iOS version. So I just wanted to show you some of the features and specifically point out that we've added two new places for you to log in. If you don't already have the Seesaw app installed on your phone, you can go to the parent page right from our app. And so you'd go in and you'd log in as you've done previously. We've also installed the Canvas app, we've added Canvas, the parent login for Canvas here on the phone. And so this is another good place for you to log in to check on student progress. I'm going to show you what that looks like in just a moment. So just briefly, again, this is the Burton Schools app. It's on both the iOS and the Android store. You can personalize it to your campus. So you're just getting updates from your one site, and you'll get announcements and messages and various things. You can also have directories, and you've got access to lunch menus and our Facebook pages and board meetings and all manner of things. Also ARIES. If you are looking to connect with ARIES, you can log into ARIES on this website, on this app as well. So I'm going to stop sharing my phone, and I'm going to move over to Canvas. Canvas is the new learning management system that we've adopted for 4th through 12th grades, and it's the way students are receiving their work and submitting their work. And so if you haven't seen it yet, your students, again, in 4th through 6th grades have been working on it. And I want to show you a student view. And so I'm bringing that up right now, and I'm doing it on my iPad so that you get the same experience your students are getting. And so I asked for permission to sign in as one of our students. And so I have, this is a 6th grade student at CIA. And this is the student view that he sees when he logs in on a daily basis through the browser. And all of his classes are here, and he can navigate to the classes, and he can look at his grades, and he can see announcements on the right-hand side. And he has a calendar of the various events that are coming up, or if he's gotten grades. He's got all of his coursework in one place. But you, I'm sure, want to be able to keep track of it, and asking him for his iPad all the time or her for her iPad all the time doesn't make a lot of sense. And there is a way to add yourselves as parents or connect yourself with parent accounts in Canvas. And I'd like to show you the process. It's 2 steps. And so the first step is to have your student open their Canvas page for you and show you what's going on. And then they have to go to their account and settings. And then you are in Canvas called an observer. And so what we need to do is we need to go to account. Let me do that again. I'm going to go, here's the dashboard. Here's where you get when you log in. I'm going to account and I'm going to settings. And then I'm going to tap this pair with observer button on the right-hand side. I don't know if you can see my mouse pointing. It's kind of a funny way of doing this with my, right there. Maybe you can see that with my iPad. But pair with observer, and when I click on that, I get this code. And this is the student's code. Now that you've all seen it, I'm going to be replacing it. See, and once when we recreate it, we get a new one. So if you open that a bunch of different times, you get a new one. And so I'm going to copy this. The first step is you would need to get that code, and you would need to write it down somewhere. And once you've done that, you are going to go to a different website for us. And that's where you actually create your account and you log in. And you can get to this website from burtonschools.org or from your school's individual website. And it's in the same place on both sites. So let me go here. This is our district homepage. If I click on parents and students, it's this Canvas parent login option. I'm going to go to just a random school because they all have it. I'm going to go to Jim Maples real quick. If you would prefer to go through your school's website, you hit, go to Jim Maples, and then in parents, we've got Canvas parent access here as well. And so I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to create an account for myself. And to do that, oops, I'm sorry, that's the wrong place. To do that, I'm going to, up here in the top right corner, it says parent of a Canvas user. Click here for an account. So that's what I'm going to do, and that's what you're going to do. You don't have accounts yet. You've got to go make your accounts. And so you're going to put your name in. Here's my name, and here's an email that I have, and I'm going to just create a password real quick. And so you want to be able to do that, this entire process. And then down at the bottom, it's asking for the student pairing code, and that's that code that we got earlier from the student's account. And so once I've got all of that information in, my name, my email, my password twice, and the student pairing code, I can hit start participating. And see, what's happened is I hit that button too many times. And so if you do that, the system gets confused. And so we want to make sure we get a valid code. And so you only hit it once. You hit start participating. And now what you're seeing is that same student's access, but this is through my observer account, not through his personal student account. And so you can create this for yourselves. All you need, again, is that observer code from your students' accounts. And as a parent, you've got access to just nearly everything your student has access to. Here's the ELA page. We could go through all of them. We could click on grades and you could look at that. I'm not going to do that because this is not actually my student, and I don't want to violate that kind of privacy. But it all works, and it's all here. And so that's how you get into the the Canvas parent mode for your students. It does look a little bit different on the phone, and so I'm going to show you what that page would look like on the phone. Similar. It remains similar, but it is a tiny bit different. So let me switch back to the phone and just take you through the process on the. I'll at least show you what the page would look like on the phone instead of the iPad. So I'm going to do that now. And so you can do the same process. You can go to our website like I did on my iPad and connect there, or you can go to our app like I showed you earlier. But once you've created the account, if I'm in the app, as I was previously, I'm going to open Canvas here. And now that I've got that account created connected to a student. I'm going to type it in. I'm going to type in the password. And now I've got access. Oh, did I spell my name right? Oh, that's .con, not com. It needs to be com. I'm going to type in my password. And I just broadcast that password to all of you, didn't I? Oops, that was a silly thing to do. It's a good thing it's not a secure password that I don't use anymore. Irene, you're not muted. So here I am on my phone, and I've got that same access that we saw earlier on my iPad. And so you can see it's responsive to the phone. You can look at it on the phone. If I wanted to go open that ELA course again, here we go. And so now it's loading. And I have the ability to look through that same course. And I could get to grades, I could get to all the things that we had before. Again, I'm not going to do that because we don't want to violate that student's privacy. Not like I just did my own, but that's how Canvas works on the iPad, iPhone. That's how you create a parent account. So I expect there are probably questions. I'd be happy to come back at the end and answer some of those, or help answer some of those for you about Canvas or Seesaw or Aries. Just briefly about Aries, if you don't yet have a parent account, or you do have an account but you're not connected to your student, the best course of action is to call your school, and your site secretary can help get you connected through our database there. But as always, we have a technology support drive-through that happens on Mondays. It's every day. On Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, it's from 11 to 1. And on Tuesdays and Thursdays, it's from 7:45 to 9. And it's at the Berkey Center, which is at the corner of Henderson and Westwood. And so we're there at those times. And I've got techs on hand to replace iPads, to fix issues, to troubleshoot. And so please, if you've got questions or concerns about technology, don't hesitate to come by. And if those times don't work for you, my email, my contact information will be put up a little bit later, and you can just shoot me an email, and we can schedule independently if that works better for you too. So again, I'll be back at the end to do some question and answer if you've got technology questions. But for now, I'm going to turn it back over to Ms. Ortega.
Our social worker, Ayani De Souza Silva, and she is going to go over some social emotional learning strategies for parents.
Hi everyone, sorry, trying to get the screen up here and going. Hi, it's a pleasure to meet you all. I'm Hayani Silva. I'm the new school social worker with Burton School District. I'll be covering all 9 sites, and I'll be working closely with the family and the school psychologists at each specific site to best support the students and our families. I'll be providing counseling services for students, referral services, and also linking families to community resources that they might need, from food, clothing, any type of resources they might need in the community that they might need help locating those resources. I'll be the one connecting with those families. So today's topic, we're going to discuss some coping strategies for you, and how you can manage some tips, how to manage the distance learning process, and to kind of get into somewhat of a plan to kind of best support our parents, because this is a tough time for everyone. There's a lot going on, and it's okay, we are learning together, everybody's struggling in a way. Teachers are getting used to this, students are getting used to this, parents are getting used to this. So this is definitely a process for everyone. So don't feel like this is only, it's going to take some time. So today I'm going to share with you a presentation just to kind of get us talking about some key points, and we will be welcoming questions at the end, or if you can just drop them on the chat, and Irene will be checking in on those, and we'll answer them as we go. And yeah, let's get started. Let me share my screen real quick. One second. Can everybody see that? Hopefully. All right, so let's start it. Before we get started, I have added some links to the PowerPoint, and this PowerPoint is going to be shared with you at the end of the presentation. But before we get started, I just wanted to do a quickly mindful breathing exercise. So just sit comfortable wherever you're at. You can close your eyes, you can put your head down, whatever feels comfortable and right to you. I'm gonna go ahead and start playing the video, just listen to it, and then we'll go forward. So just kind of to get us into a more relaxed mood, okay? Give me 1 second. There you go, let's try that again. Let's try sharing again. For some reason, it's just not loading. 1 second. My connection's not really loading. Let's see.
Ayani, do you just want to do your slide piece?
Yeah, could you share the slide? Because my internet is just not letting me.
Okay, let me.
See, I'll try and pull it up. It's odd. It's just up and just try one more time.
You want me to? Do you want me to try the?
Yeah. Can you share the slide for me? It's not loading up. There it is. Can we start with that first one? And just
you want to
press.
start with the first one? This
the
one?
First slide. Yes. The middle one. Yes.
Okay.
Go ahead. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mindful breathing. Close your eyes and rest your hands on your knees. Bring your attention to the touch of your body on your seat. Feel the weight of your body on your chair or cushion. Make sure that your back
Is it not loading the video?
Now bring your attention back to your
Okay, so I stopped the video, Ayani, so that we could put it in our parent folder for our parents to be able to see the whole video at their convenience. And I will put the parent folder link into into the question and answer box so that parents can see it. And at any point in time, you're more than welcome to visit that. So some of
Are you still there?
Thank you, B. Okay, go ahead, Ayani. I'll go ahead and move to the slide here.
Can you go back to the other slide? Okay, so sorry. So that was our video. It was supposed to be a mindful breathing exercise to just to kind of get you into the mindfulness of here and now. So next we're going to discuss stress.
Ahorita van a hablar sobre el estrés para unos ejercicios.
For your children, but also for yourself, because you're only able to take care of your kids if you're able to take care of yourself. And we got to start sometimes with us. And really, we're going to get started and watch this quick little video. If you can play it, Irene, please.
Stress is usually seen as something we need to avoid. This is not true. We need stress, and we need our body's stress hormone cortisol to rise and fall throughout the day. Stress helps us wake up in the morning, helps us focus, learn, and remember new things. It's when people experience too much stress and start having difficulties coping that stress becomes a problem. High levels of stress can disrupt the natural changes in the body's stress response system and start to affect our physical and mental health. Over time, accumulated stress can result in false FFF response activations. When trying to measure our stress tolerance, the bucket analogy can be helpful. Our stress tolerance, or the size of our bucket, is a product of our genes, personality, and life experiences, and its size varies from person to person. The water in this analogy is the combination of all the stress in your life. We use the coping strategies we have available to keep our bucket from overflowing. They are like taps that allow water to drain from the bucket. Stress can include training, work, school, relationships, finances, moving, changing jobs, or the loss of a loved one. Both positive and negative experiences will affect the water level. A big bucket can hold more water or stress before it overflows. With a smaller bucket, less water is required for the water or stress level to become critical. While you can't change the size of your bucket, you can make life adjustments to reduce water coming in. You can also learn new coping strategies and stress management techniques to allow water to drain out. Mind tools, exercise, quality sleep, relaxation, and sharing your feelings with friends are some examples of effective water taps. Staying up late, sleeping in, drugs, inactivity, procrastination, suppressing or ignoring problems are examples of unhelpful coping strategies or false taps. They might give temporary relief, but actually result in water flowing back into your bucket.
So that was just a quick little video explaining how stress can impact the body. The next slide is just some coping strategies that you can utilize. So how do you manage your stress? What are some of your coping strategies? So really creating a daily challenge, things that you enjoy doing, and really working on that could be something to challenge yourself to do. So even creating a calming corner, doing something, reading a book, or starting a series that you enjoy. Just really finding something that that makes you relax and kind of give you that break from everything else. The next slide kind of just talks about the different pathways to resiliency. So the resilience is the ability of someone to be able to bounce back from things that they go through through life. So, and it's a way to kind of prevent stress. So for adults, just acknowledging trauma, seeking support. So if you need help, we're here to support you. So reach out. Most likely other parents and others are struggling. So reaching out is huge, and it will make a great impact. And for children, just, being the positive role models. Children are looking at their parent as a role model. So if we are freaking out, we're stressed, and we are, it's uncertain times, the kids are also seeing that behavior and they're modeling that behavior, and they're feeling anxiety too. So it's really important to really take a look at ourselves and trying to understand my children is looking at me this, the way I'm acting. So it's very important that we be mindful of that. So once again, slow down. It's okay. It is a struggle. We're going to get through it. And if you feel like you need additional support, reach out to your teachers, reach out to your administrators, reach out to school psych, to social workers like me. So reach out to us. We're here to support you in any way we can. And it's okay if we don't know how to do something, even me as a college student, I remember struggling with technology. It was very, stressful, and it's something that you're going to learn as you go, and it's going to take some practice, and it's a time of adjustment for everyone. So it's just very important to remember that if you're feeling stressed, take a break. If things are not logging in, you're struggling with that, take a break and try to reassess the situation. Okay, this is not working. What can we do next? Because when we're upset and stressed, you can't get much done. So let's go on with some tips for distance learning. So establishing a routine and expectations is huge. And like I said, this is a time that it's very uncertain. Children are kind of ripped from their daily routine. School is very structured. So maybe trying to create a structure that's as close as possible to school. So even, establishing routines would be thinking through the past few days and kind of trying to arrange a schedule that fits best for your need. And this is going to be different for every family. Some of your kids might need to adjust depending on their age, depending on their schedule. So for the little one, it's very important to create a visual schedule, since some of them might not know how to read well, or you can even do, little pictures or and kind of create a visual of what you expect for them to do, from the morning, wake up, brush your teeth, okay, get dressed, and just really have a visual schedule that they can follow and they know what to expect. And it's okay to reassess the schedule every few days, because things will change. Sometimes you'll figure out, okay, this is not working so well, maybe we need to change it up. And just creating new routines that support the mental health and well-being of your children. So that means creating things at home that you can do as a family, to kind of really create that connection with your kids. And that's going to take some work, and just kind of, getting together and trying to establish that. It's going to take some time. And many families are currently struggling to work from home while supporting home learning. So some of our parents are, are working. Some of them are, at home with the children. So it's okay to create new routines. Creating daily schedules can help all family members, but especially children, to feel more secure and kind of have some predictability of to their days. Like I said, it's so unpredictable. We don't really know what tomorrow will bring. So it's just very important to bring some type of predictability and security into their world, as it has been turned upside down. So developing good habits from the start. So creating a flexible routine and kind of talking about it over time. And just really helping your children, it's school time. So let's get up, let's get dressed, let's get ready. This is kind of getting them to that school mode in a way. Having them really get, no, this is school time. We get dressed as if we're going to school. We brush, we fix our hair as we're going to school, and just really setting up those bedtime routines and really creating some expectations. And then next, why should we include schedules and routines into the plan? Because it's going to enhance collaboration and cooperation, which means, Irene, I think it kind of went.
Okay, sorry, my calendar took over.
It's okay. So it's important because it's gonna decrease some of the power struggles. Sometimes younger children be like, oh, I don't want to do that. Why do I have to do that? So having that routine and having that schedule, okay, this is what we do. This is what's expected of you. And it kind of creates it kind of decrease some of that power struggle and kind of really fosters some independence of them. And it serves as an anchor to help the body and the brain to stay calm, because they have something to look back into. And it may be helpful to create new routines and traditions to help your family recognize the resilience. So maybe at mealtime, you might do like, we share something good that happened about your day. Or maybe doing a check-in at the beginning of the day or a check-in at the end of the day, and kind of seeing what's one good thing, what's something you struggle with today. Just really trying to make that connection with your children. It's very crucial at this time. And then let's see the next slide. This is just an example of a virtual school suggested daily schedule. Of course, this is going to be different from each school site. So an example, and I also included at the end of this presentation a site where you can actually click on the link and it lets you print out a blank one and you can fill it out yourself. So just kind of, and like I said, for the little one, you might want to add like some pictures of, somebody waking up, somebody getting dressed, and you can even use rewards for that. Okay, you get a little star if you do this, and just kind of getting them motivated to, making it fun, because kids, they enjoy that structure, they enjoy that, really that connection and that praise from parents. So it's really important to really kind of try to get them on a schedule that kind of works for you and for your family. And then like I said, at the end of the PowerPoint, I'll add the slide, the link where you can click and you can kind of check out the different examples they have for schedules. And then the next slide, we're talking about schedules and routines. If it's up there, it's still showing some, that's thank you, Irene. So this is, it kind of talks about why is it important, why should we add a schedule, because it sounds kind of silly sometimes, but children really enjoy that structure, and it might be a little bit work at the beginning to get it started, but once the kid have that schedule, they're most likely to kind of follow and go get into a routine, which is going to make it a little bit easier on you parents, in kind of getting kids going on that routine. So how is this routine going to shift from what you're previously doing? So this is very important, that this routine has to be developed and the schedule has to be developed together, because you want their input into this. That you want to know what, you kind of have to set out, okay, what are some of the things that we must do? Okay, those are the have to do, and what are some of the things that we kind of can be flexible about? And then just kind of going from there, what can remain the same? What are some part of the routine that help your family feel safe and calm? So just really kind of developing that plan together, sitting together and kind of saying, okay, this is what we need to do. What can we do, and kind of coming up with a plan, and also developing roles and goals for each day. So, maybe that also has to be done together with the student. What is one goal that you want for today? What is one, maybe it just might be, oh, I just want to be able to log in on my Zoom and not get kicked out. I mean, it can be something as simple as that, and those are little steps. And like I kind of mentioned, for the younger children, using visuals is going to be very helpful, and just kind of modifying to the needs of each student. It's going to be different for every kid. Some kids might need a few more breaks in between because they just have a harder time sitting still. Some of them might function well in one way. So you kind of have to adjust what's best for your family. And then really choosing a good place to learn. So it's kind of like you got to get into the mode of learning in a way, So like, sitting on the couch in the bed sounds comfortable, but sometimes it might not be the best place to get into that learning mode, My previous experience when I was doing homework in the past, I remember being in a desk, or even being in a chair with a table, even at the table, dining table, just really getting into that mode. Okay, I need to concentrate. And this can be tough, but it kind of creating that zone, a physical location that they know this is time to learn. This is time for quiet, free from distractions. So no TV on, no electronics besides where you're focusing on school, and just really monitoring the online learning. Like I said, you're there to kind of help them. You're not expected to be their teacher. You're there to just focus on the child and, of them getting the best of they can get from the learning, and not just the work, you know, but also really focusing on that and really staying in touch with your teachers, counselors, administrators. If something's going on and you can't log in, just let us know, like keep in communication, so we can kind of work together. You know, we're here as a team and we're here to support you. And our goal is to kind of help, you know, get everybody on board, but this is going to take some time. And like I said, it's okay. I know a lot of parents are overwhelmed. A lot of the staff is overwhelmed. The teachers, you know, try to log in and learning all this. So this is something that we all adjusting, and it's going to take some time. And like I said, maybe even beginning and ending each day with a check-in, just to see how your children's doing. You know, what was something that was hard about today? What was something that was, you know, a little bit easier for you, and kind of working from that. Can you go back to, let's see, the support mental health and well-being. So children of different ages and parents, you know, some of them will be working from home. So building some time for peace and quiet. So maybe, you know, if you have siblings, they might need to work at different rooms to kind of avoid the distraction, even using one of those like science boards to kind of block out, or even earphones to kind of help stay focused. And you kind of might need to negotiate this, you know, so setting a schedule that has significant items that must happen. So like, you know, you must eat, you must do schoolwork, and then kind of loosely adding a few others that you must do and that you kind of work with. So, and encourage physical activity, exercise, allow for some flexibility, you know, day-to-day things will change, and really matching your child's age and needs. So like I said, some of the little ones might need a few more breaks, and it's okay. You know, they are little, it takes them a lot of work to just, you know, it is hard to just sit in a computer and just, you know, pay attention. So just kind of be patient with them, and just kind of try to develop a plan that works best for you, and build in that time for connection. You know, even if that means going for a family walk, or even having a game night one night where you guys can kind of just, you know, enjoy some time together and just appreciate, you know, having one another. And then, so the list of resources are there for you to click. And I also have a link to our drive. This is the parent folder. Everything that I come across, from resources in the community, from any type of resources for parents. Like I have some social and emotional learning lessons in there as well that you can log in, and you can actually do them at home. So if your kid is struggling with anger, or they're struggling with, or if they're feeling sad, there's just different little videos for the little guys that you can go there and watch it with the kids. And it's super simple. And there's a lot of good information there. And Irene's gonna drop that on the chat as well to have access. And I'll add this resource at the end. And then my last slide shows different, all of those little TVs have a video in it. As soon as you click it, it will take you to the YouTube video. It's YouTube Safe for Children. And it kind of talks about different skills and strategies that you can watch with your kid. If you're struggling with sharing, if they're, you know, kids are saying no, just kind of a lot of good information in there for you. And then the last slide is just some information about me. This is my email is there. There's my direct number. That number you can text, you can call, and just let me know if you have any concerns, or if there's any way that I can provide some support to you. And if I don't know the answer, I will find the answer. I will go out and find the answer, and just kind of work together and just really utilize the resources that we have for you, and reach out to us whenever needed. I think we covered quite a bit of information. And if you have any questions, if you guys can drop them in the chat, and then we'll kind of answer. We have about, say, about 6 minutes, 7 minutes to kind of do some questions. Whoever wants to ask some questions, feel free to drop them on the chat, or if the school psychologists have anything they want to share, if they want to introduce themselves, just let me know in the chat, and then we can unmute you.
And parents, I'm going to go ahead and launch. We have a poll. If you don't mind filling it out, it helps us determine what other workshops you might be interested in. There's 4 questions, and they're multiple choice. So if you don't mind taking the poll, we would greatly appreciate it, so that we can continue bringing you workshops that you would be interested in.
There were a couple of technology questions I mentioned in the question and answer that I try to address at the end here. So real quick while you do the poll, and if you've got any questions for Heini or the school psychologists, please do that. For Aries accounts, the best first step is to call your school and talk to the school secretary. They can update your information and add an email address for you in our student system, and that will automatically start the account generation process. So giving them a call and requesting that they add your email address to your student's account is the best way to start the Aries parent portal process. There was another question about Aries in the app, and I did notice as I was demonstrating for you that the app icon is not as clear as it could be. So I've gone ahead and I've updated that. So when you get into the app now, here's what you'll see, and here's where you'll log into Aries. So I just called it Aries, and I used the icon. So you should be able to see it if I can find, there we go. So as you can see now, there's a seesaw, there's a canvas, but there's also an Aries link. And when you tap that, it's going to take you straight to the parent login portal for Aries. The last question I saw that I'd like to quickly address, if I may, is getting the how do you get that link for sharing or the pairing your student's account? And so I'm going to show you where that is one more time. I apologize for having to switch devices, but I want to show you the experience that you'd be seeing with your student. So here is that student's account again. And if you go to their page, so you've got to get your student to log in, and then they click on account and they click on settings. There's a pair with observer button that you have access to. And so if you click pair with observer, you'll get a code, and you can then pair with that student. That code does change every time you click that button. And so if you click it multiple times and you've copied the first code, but then you've clicked it a couple more times, you're going to get an invalid code, and that's going to be frustrating. So make sure you click it that one time. Oh, I see that you're not quite seeing the Aries available in the Burton app. I just did it I just updated it during the meeting so that it was a little bit clearer and had that different icon. Oh, I'm sorry. My apologies. I should have turned my video back on. I just updated that icon right now. So you may want to force quit the app and then reopen it, and it should load. It did take me about 5 minutes to see it. So you should see it soon, but as you saw, it will show up. You don't have to re-download the app. You can just reopen it or force quit it and reopen it. Give it a little bit of time. There's a question here in the chat. Do two parents need two different codes for Canvas? Yes. So you're going to have the first parent go through the process. Then you're going to have to generate a new code and go through that process again for the second parent. They don't like reusing codes. They are very nervous about the code falling into the wrong hand and having somebody say, show it to a group of 70 people. So that one's on me. But every time you click that button, it regenerates. So you'll be good.
Does anyone have any further questions? And as they come up, you can always text that number, call that number. And also, if you have any specific concern, you can let your administrator know, and they'll also reach out to me. Thank you for listening, and I'm sorry our video didn't work. It was a really good kind of calming video to kind of get us to relax. but you will have access to it if you have some time to kind of take a look at it.
Thank you, Ione.
Thank you. Let's see.
I noticed there was a request one more time. Where's the code? If you've got your student's iPad in front of you and they're logged into their account, if they click account and then settings, and then you click pair with observer, and it will show you a little box with the code. And so that's where the code is. That's where you can get it. There's a question, will we be able to access this after this is done? Yes, this meeting was recorded, so I will be posting this so you can revisit any of the information. There's a question about access to the parent portal. Is it just through the Burton District app? It is not. You can also get to that address from the website, from one of our websites, either your school website or our district website. If you click on the parents link, let me pull it up for you real quick. I'm sorry, I've got a lot of things going on in the background. Here we go. So if you go to open a web browser and you go to burtonschools.org, it's here in parents and students. It's Canvas parent login. Or if you would prefer to use one of your sites, let's say we're at Burton Elementary School, you're a Burton Elementary parent. It's right here in parents and Canvas parent portal down here at the bottom. If you have more than one student, you do enter more than one code. Once you've got your account created, there's in your settings you can go in and add that. Let me see if I can get that up for you briefly before we're done this evening. I don't know, Ms. Ortega, how much longer you wanted to leave this open? I know we have the next one. So
we have about 5 more minutes before
okay.
we need to close this one before our next one.
Okay.
If anybody wants to stick around and have any further questions, they can stick around, and I'll be around here for 5 more minutes to answer any specific questions you might have. You can just stay on the chat.
So to add additional students, once you've gotten in to your parent portal with your first student, it looks like this. This is, again, that student's, this is my parent portal view of that student in Canvas. And so what I would do is I click on, I was just there, shoot, accounts, and then come down here to observing, and I can add as many codes, other students as I'd like right here. So that's account, observing, and this is from your parent account. It's not from your student's account, but this is once you've created your initial account and connected your first student. You click on accounts, observing, and you get this page, and you paste that code in. So I could add the rest of the students here in the family if I wanted to, as you can, and then you'd be able to switch between those students. I hope that makes sense. So there's a difference between Canvas and Seesaw, and there's a question in the Q&A about why we're doing Seesaw in one place and Canvas in the other. It's the difficulty of use is not super high with Canvas, but it is higher. There's a lot more hand-eye coordination to deal with these smaller links. There's a lot more stuff going on in the background, and we thought that Seesaw was a more appropriate tool to support our 4-year-olds through our 7-year-olds. And that's why we're sticking with Seesaw at that grade range. Certainly there are kids who could handle it, but by and large, we believe it's a better experience for our younger students to stay on Seesaw and to have our older students on Canvas. So no, our youngest kids are not using Canvas, they're using Seesaw. Thank you so much for your time. I'm gonna stop sharing here. Ms. Ortega, if there's anything else.
I don't see any more questions. I've been checking on the Q&A box and I don't see any more questions. But if you haven't taken the poll, if you could please take the short 4-question poll, we would greatly appreciate it. We do want your feedback. So if you could please fill out the poll, we would greatly appreciate it. Otherwise, thank you for attending. We appreciate you taking the time to come and attend our parent workshop, and we will have more in the future. And so if there is something particular you would like to hear more information on, please feel free to reach out. We'd be happy to do that. Thank you everyone for coming.